Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Mail. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. This from a guy, sounds like he's probably in his late 20s, and he's writing in to share his story how he learned the hard way why you do not get into long-distance relationships with gals you met online or through some texting outlet, or if you will, and certainly why you don't give them money. This guy made a lot of mistakes. Now, he was young, inexperienced, and he's now all the wiser, and he's writing in to share this so that a lot of guys out there that may watch this don't make the same mistakes as he did. Now, let me tell you, he makes a lot of boneheaded mistakes, and he was young, and I definitely make him aware of where he screwed up royally multiple times. And it wasn't, I don't do it to be a jerk, but I do it because this guy needs some tough love, and I'm hoping that he's well aware of this now. And I'm doing this for all the guys out there that are young that may do some of the same things he does, because this, in the era of people being online and different apps, they can start talking to people, and you very easily fall prey to some of these people and these gals that will use them, because there are a whole lot of people in this world, not just women, that will use desperate, clueless guys, and I don't want that to happen to you guys. And you'll see in the end, he is all the wiser, we hope. So, he says, Dear Strong Successful Male, I want to write in and talk about an experience with a dysfunctional relationship that I had. Well, no shortage of those on this channel. Between 2014 and 2021, I talked to a woman online that I will refer to as Carly. Carly lived in West Virginia, and I lived in Michigan. West Virginia, huh? I'm already hearing the banjos in the background here. No offense, West Virginia brothers, I gotta make a joke. We were very flirty over the years online, and we're very good friends. But we never quite got together due to family tragedies and life stuff. Why a gal online? Weren't there any single girls in Michigan? Okay. Her mother had died 1 year, and my grandma had died another year. I was also very busy getting my master's degree and didn't have the time or money to visit her for a number of years. Well, good. Focus on your purpose. Or better yet, also don't focus on girls online. I mean, in late 2020, I rejected Carly's offer to be in a committed relationship. I told her we hadn't met in person yet, that my grandma died, her mom died, and just wasn't good timing for either of us. I said this could change in the future after we meet and get our lives together. We agreed to be friends. We were flirty friends, but I kept her at distance romantically. Well, good. I'm glad you agreed to get into a relationship with somebody who you never even met. That's insane. I mean, come on here. I mean, I'm glad you're focusing on school, your master's degree, your purpose, that's setting yourself up for life. But for God's sakes, I mean, if she was entertainment, fine. But anything you get serious with or date, again, a local, not in other side of the country. In 2021, Carly entered a polyamorous relationship with a much older guy after being rejected by me. Right away, I started to notice a lot of red flags with their relationship. Dude, there are already red flags in your situation. For starters, this guy was 20 years older than her. And while the guy was allowed to see other women, my friend Carly was not allowed to see other men. There was another much younger woman in their throuple who Carly got along with. Well, seems like the winner in that situation is the guy who's 20 years older. That's some pussy control there. The other red flag was that Carly and this older guy would go several months without seeing each other. I tried to tell Carly that it wasn't normal for a man who lives 20 minutes away to not see his girlfriend, and they might be hiding something, but she didn't care. Drama, drama, drama. The other woman in their throuple also noticed the guy acting distant. Surprise, surprise, several months later, Carly discovered that this guy had a wife who didn't know about he was in a poly relationship with two other girls. Carly was devastated after this breakup. Poly relationships require all parties to be completely honest and equal. This was not a real poly relationship. It was just a guy cheating on his wife. Well, there you go. I have, since the beginning of this channel, have always made it quite clear about these stupid-ass scenarios, throuples, poly relationships, open marriage, open relationship. They all lead to disaster. Typically, somebody's fucking lying. Carly eventually got over that relationship, and several weeks later, I graduated with my master's degree. I was making decent money because I found a great job. Congratulations, brother. Carly and I were both in better places mentally. I decided to fly out to see her for the first time. Why not have her come see you? But let me guess. You got the job, you got the money, you pay. I flew out for the weekend in 2021, and we had a great time together. She showed me her home city, drove me around for hours, we saw a movie, we went out for food, and went to the gym together. And we stayed the night in a hotel room. Let me guess, you watched a Dukes of Hazzard marathon in the hotel room in West Virginia. We didn't get intimate that night, and we slept on separate beds in my hotel room. But that was fine. After coming out of such a toxic relationship where Curly was used for sex, I wanted to show Curly what a healthy relationship with a male was like. Smack! And here we go with the white knighting. Being a gentleman. Bro, first of all, this whole thing, as I've made clear, is just a waste of your time, and you're going to learn this. Long-distance relationship, girl you meet online. If you want to date, do relationships, fine. Be selective, use the knowledge you've gained in this channel as well as from others. And do it local, not across the freaking country. And not with a girl who was just in a poly relationship. And Lord knows what other toxic situations, I'll use the word toxic, fair enough, that she's been a part of. And is going to bring this drama into your life. And now you got to show her how much of a good man you are and be a gentleman. But you don't be a gentleman to a 304. Because they see that as weakness. They're going to bring their drama to your life. When I got back home, things got a little more serious, and we both agreed to enter a committed relationship. Smack! Can't turn an HOE into a housewife, not to mention long-distance relationship. You don't know her, okay? Yet for 7 years, you were chatting with her online through however you met her. And if you were it was entertainment, fair enough. But enter a relationship with a girl you don't even know you met one time? Did you hook up with her at this point? I can't remember. This turned out to be a mistake. Shocker. She became distant over text. She would go several days without responding to my texts, even though she was active on Instagram and Facebook. It's because you were a low priority. She roped you in, and now it's like, pfft. Guess what, guys? It takes seconds to respond to a goddamn text. I'm not saying you gotta drop everything you're doing to respond to a text from a woman. In fact, you never should drop what you're doing to respond to a text from a woman or anybody. If you're busy doing something, you'll get back to her later. But she can respond to you several days. Her actions, guys, tell you everything. Sometimes she'd make posts tagging other guys or post videos on her stories of her hanging out with other guys. Shocker. And as I said, you can't turn an HO into a housewife. She's not girlfriend material. Right? And she's rubbing this in your face. You should have just ended it right then and there. I thought it was unusual, but chose to trust her and shrug it off. Smack! What happens to guys that are complacent, that just let things slide and are passive and don't stand up for themselves and establish boundaries? You know what happens. In my mind, the lack of texting could be explained by her being busy with school. Bullshit, you were just deluding yourself. If she really wanted to talk to you, believe me, she would. But now she's got you on layaway, where she can go spend time talking to the guys she really likes, who she sleeps with. And if I confronted her about the other guys, she could accuse me of being controlling. Smack! Who cares? If you're supposed to be in an exclusive relationship, she actually should respond to you and show some genuine interest and not be talking to other guys and all that. Several weeks later, I drove 9+ hours one way to her hometown as we planned to have me visit that weekend. Smack! You went to her last time, she can come to you. Well, let me guess, you're thinking, I don't want her to say no, so I'm just going to drive there. I'm all for road trips, but for someone that gives a shit about you. She's ignoring you, hanging out with other dudes, and you're going to drive all the way there? Reward bad behavior? When I got to my hotel, she said she might not be able to see me that night because she's not feeling good. Well, because she probably has a stomach ache from all of Chad and Tyrone's you-know-what in her mouth that night. I went straight to bed that Friday night because I was exhausted from the drive. In the morning, I tried to get in touch with her, but she ghosted me most of the day. I bet you felt pretty dumb driving 9 hours now, huh? I opened up her Instagram story and discovered she posted a video on her story that night before where she was smoking with some of her friends and laughing. I realized right then and there that she wasn't sick and she'd lied to me. Yes, she did. Sorry it happened, bro, but you had to learn the hard way. Too bad you didn't have me back then. Well, you know what? I was on YouTube back then. You should have been watching me. Over the next few hours, I received no reply to my text or phone calls. I planned for us to go for a walk in one of the local caves. It got after 4 p.m. and I still wasn't contacted. So I decided to go caving by myself. I felt absolutely miserable. I was essentially going on my date alone. Bro, at that point, when she wouldn't even see you, I would have gotten in the car and drove home, cut your losses, go home, and never talk to her crazy ass again. But our guy didn't learn just yet. So I got back to my hotel and basically did nothing that night. I got yes or no responses with long ghosting in between. Towards the end of the night, her Snapchat had her location 3 minutes near my hotel. I asked if she wanted to come hang out for a little bit and see me for 10 minutes, real quick, after I'd driven all this way, and was left unread. So now you're practically begging her to please come see me. Not that she's worth your time or energy, but do you think that's attractive to a woman? She's ignoring you, treating you like crap after she knows you drove down your 9.5 hours. She doesn't give a shit about you. Oh, please come see me. That sounds very masculine to you, very high value, if you will. She again posted Instagram stories of her partying with friends and tagging other guys on Facebook. I went to bed feeling unsure about what was happening. Unsure? I'm pretty fucking sure what's happening. You mean nothing to her. On Sunday morning, I asked if she wanted to get breakfast before I left. Guys, we can learn from this. This is a learning story of what not to do. He keeps chasing after her. No matter how bad she treats him, he keeps texting her, reaching out to her. You know, no one's going to respect anybody like this. Have some self-respect past you. I didn't hear back from her. Shocker. I drove straight home instead of getting breakfast. For another week and a half, Carly remained distant over text. Carly then confessed to me that she was dealing with financial issues, was behind on her car payment, and hung out with her friends instead of me that weekend that I visited because she wanted to get her mind off her financial issues and depression. What a steaming pile of crap. Actually, I believe she probably has money problems because she's stupid. But that's how she dealt with it. But ignoring you after driving 9.5 hours. The bullshit excuses are amazing. And better yet, the guys that eat up the bullshit excuses are even more amazing. She was also mad at me because she felt like I was love bombing her. Well, you weren't say love bombing her, but you were trying to get some fucking responses. But she showed through her actions. It's all about actions, gentlemen. Then she didn't give a shit about you. But now you're the bad guy here. I'd be like, hey bitch, how about how inconsiderate you were? Or better yet, you should have blocked her. So I made a huge mistake at this point and sent Curly $1,000 over Apple Pay. Let me get my magic hands ready here. Smack, smack, smack. After all that, you sent her $1,000. You're young and just got your job. $1,000 of your hard-earned money for this dumb bitch that wouldn't even freaking see you and ghosted you, ignored you, and jerked you around. $1,000 because you're trying to buy her affection. That's why. And what happens to guys? That happens. I told her to use it to get caught up on her car bill and that we would catch up soon. I told her I loved her and she said it back. Smack! No, you don't. And she sure as hell doesn't love you. I just think that for whatever reason, you felt like your options were so limited that there wasn't one single woman that would give you the time of day in the entire state of Michigan and anywhere else surrounding Michigan. You had to go to West Virginia and get Boss Hogg's granddaughter to go on a date with you. Look how that turned out here. Honest to God. She was extremely thankful for one day. It went back to her being incredibly distant. Yeah, why should she change her behavior towards you? Right? She's like, well, shit, I can keep doing this. Maybe next time he'll give me $2,000. One night, I confronted her about her behavior over text. She made fun of me and insulted every characteristic of my physical appearance. She denied that we were ever in a relationship in the first place and called me crazy. I'm sorry, man, but you brought this shit on yourself. Clearly you didn't have anybody back then to tell you reality. Maybe you didn't find me back then. Who knows? Thought she'd be different. You were lonely. I don't know what, but if it took this shit to help you wake up to reality, and then it's a good thing, but good God. She denied that the money was a gift from her boyfriend and insisted it was a private loan that we had discussed the terms of. We did not. This wasn't the first time I'd given her money. Oh, really? Smack. Only the first time I had given her more than a few $100s at a time. Well, I don't care if you $50 here, $50 there. That shit adds up, you know. Now we know why. Now we know why she's been stringing you along for 7 years, and you're always going to her, you know. She probably has other guys on the side doing the same thing, and meanwhile she's hooking up with the guys she really likes. If she has enough guys giving her money every month, she doesn't have to have a job. It turns out she had some friends with her that night who were eavesdropping on her texts. Her and her friends were all laughing at me. I'm sorry, but then again, you can't blame them. I mean, Jesus. There were also some guys with her. One guy in particular I recognized as someone she was smoking with in her social media stories and tagged in her Facebook posts. It all clicked in my head at that point. She was cheating on me and was too cowardly to own up to it in front of a guy, in front of the guy and her friends. No, they knew darn well that you thought you were in a relationship, but she was just bullshitting you to get to use you. Guys, there are a lot of women out there that could care less. They are disgusted by desperate men. They're disgusted by weak ass behavior, and so they want to punish a guy. They figure he deserves it because he's stupid, and they're all laughing at you. All those nights of text messages that were not delivered were because she would block me temporarily when she was with this guy. Yeah, and I guarantee you, he ain't giving her money. He's giving her something else. I basically blocked her across everything after calling her out. Good for you. The next day I went to work and received threatening messages from this guy she was with. From all the way in West Virginia. Okay. He threatened to beat me up if I ever showed up in their town again. Every time I would block him, he would text me from a new number that escalated the threats. Okay, motherfucker, I'm going to call the police. The threats escalated to this guy threatening to off me. Now you really have reason to call the police. The guy seemed to shut up after I texted him, and I said to him, why don't you harass the 50-year-old guy who used Carly for SCX and hid from his wife? I'm just some random dude who got dumped and never did anything to her. I unblocked Carly to tell her that this guy had threatened me and that I was filing a police report for threats and harassment. She assured me that he wasn't dangerous. Bitch, I don't care. I got the proof right there. He's threatening me and threatening to kill me. Too bad. From here, she and I stopped talking. I blocked her for real again. When she requested money from me, I was furious. I'm not surprised she asked you for money again. In her mind, shit, this guy's just so desperate, he'll just keep doing it. I learned a very important lesson from this situation. Oh, do tell. Money cannot buy love. When there are red flags, it should be taken as a sign to let the ship you're on burn down so you can swim to safety. You can't fix a sinking ship with all the good gestures or goodwill in the world. I was young, in love, and wanted us to get married. You want to get married to her? Smack! God's sakes. I never expected that she would take all the hatred and contempt she had from her ex and transfer those negative feelings onto me. It wasn't just negative feelings because of her ex. She just didn't respect you. And you said it wasn't the first time you gave her money before the $1,000 loan. No, she was stringing you along because you were attention and validation online. She didn't have to invest much of her time and energy in you and saw that you were desperate and would give her money. Because let's be honest, bro. I'm not saying this to be an asshole. I'm saying this to help you. You were desperate. Think about it. She's thinking any guy that has any value doesn't have to talk to some chick in West Virginia or anywhere else. He can get girls where he lives. Right? Think about this. I'm holding out hope for the future that I can find someone who likes me for me. I'm not going to let myself be used by anyone. Good, my friend. If there's any takeaway from your viewers should have from the story, it is to not to be too naive. Don't ignore the red flags. Don't try to buy love. Don't let yourself be used. Your self-respect means something. It's okay to walk away when you first notice things are not right. Also, be very, very cautious of online relationships, as you may not know the person as much as you think you do. Exactly. Well, if you learn from this bad experience, then good. Then all the humiliation and the loss of money and all that bought you something, okay? If you didn't learn from all this at this point, then you deserve anything that comes your way. So, bro, yes, I gave you a lot of shit in this video, and I didn't do it because I just want to be an asshole. I know you all love when I smack people, but really, I'm trying to help you out. but that's just how I handle things. So going forward, you focus on you. And if you're going to want to meet girls for dating and relationships, because you're obviously a relationship guy, keep it local. Someone nearby. Do not waste your time talking to people online, okay? Maybe you're lonely, maybe you're, who knows what. Meet people locally, okay? If your social skills aren't too good and need some work, okay. Go out and talk to people wherever you fucking go. In school, at your job, at the freaking grocery store, anywhere you go, just chat people up in line. Hi, how's your day going? Whatever. Ask questions to people. Stuff like that. Practice, practice, practice. And as time goes on, you'll get good at it. And that will help you eventually dating and relationships and all that. And don't be that guy who has to chase. You know, you pay attention to you pay attention to everybody's actions, but you pay attention to women's actions especially. You know, and that whole thing, you were doing all the giving, all the chasing, going to her. Why did she ever do anything for you? I bet you when you were talking to her all those years, it was always you that the majority of the time initiated the conversations, not the other way around. Okay? But yes, don't let anybody take advantage. Don't buy their affection. None of that shit. Otherwise, you're going to repeat what happened. So I really hope you learn. And if you said that she and her friends are making fun about your physical appearance or something, I don't know what you look like. I don't know if you're a thin, fit guy or you're obese or super scrawny or who knows. Well, take actions to work on your physical appearance if you're lacking in some area. If you hit the gym, get in shape, have to look like a bodybuilder, but you can just be fit, you know. And if you think that takes a while, well, yeah, it takes time, but you're consistent, you'll get there. Another thing is to improve maybe a better hairstyle, maybe a beard if you're clean shaven, or who knows what you want to do, or some decent clothes or something to improve your appearance, because that does help, of course. But you be yourself, you know, have your own style, your own thing, be proud of who you are. But if you act desperate, which you were acting, you're going to be taken advantage of, period, pure and simple. So, bro, I hope you've learned from this. It sounds like you have, but you'll be tested. Life is that way. You will be tested in a similar situation, and hopefully you've learned from it. So I appreciate you writing this in, and I hope you learned something. And your story here, you had balls to send it in, and we'll hopefully help some other guys out not make the same mistakes. So good for you, and I wish you luck, young brother. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let this guy know what you think. Please let him know what you think, because we have to help each other out. And I know you guys are quite to the point, and he could use it, because there's no sense sugarcoating things here. And be sure to like the video, share it to friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.